How did you feel going into this season, knowing that Monica is not coming back?
You know, I think Bravo made the right decision. I mean, it's like way above my pay grade, but I think it makes it easier because when you're building a relationship based on a lie, it's really hard to move forward with that. And I think it's really, you know, a lot of trust was broken, and I don't think it's trust that you can ever get back. So, you know, it feels good moving forward, and, you know, we wish everyone well, but it feels good moving forward.
Do you feel like you got the closure that you needed at the reunion?
I do feel like I got the closure I needed at the reunion. I feel like, you know, fighting with Monica this past season was a little difficult because it was like sophomoric jeers that you can't really respond to. It's like hard to respond when like someone's like, you're ugly. Every single time you see him, it's hard to respond to that. It's like, what do you say? Like, my mom told me I was pretty, like I'm not ugly. You can't even debate that. So it felt like at the reunion, we were able to address the key issues and not have these like little immature jeers or jabs. It was like the real issues where like why the trust was broken, how it can't be repaired, and like how we're going to move forward. So I felt like I got closure for sure.
Yeah. Knowing what you know now, do you still think production knew about Monica's past?
You know, I trust our production team, and they said, you know, at the reunion, I was very vocal on like, she was saying they knew. And I was like, if you guys knew, this is so messed up, with some expletives. So I'm like, you know, if you guys knew, it's wrong, because like to bring someone on that has an intention of like ruining every part of our lives and like in a very invasive way, I feel like it would have been like so deceitful on all parts. But they said that they did not know. I believe that they didn't know. Like, I feel like our production team has been very forthright in everything so far. So I feel like if they had known, they would have said something, or it would have become a part of story.
Right.
Because it would have been interesting to have a part of story the whole entire season.
No, you're so right. And obviously you have your core group of girls and you guys are very tight. I'm sure after last season, even probably tighter than ever. You know, there has been some rumors going around that maybe the group did not want to film with Monica, and that's why she didn't come back. Did those discussions happen at all?
Those discussions didn't happen. We weren't asked, like, are you willing to film with her, or do you want to film with her? That wasn't even a conversation. I think it's way above our pay grade, and I think NBC has a very strict policy on, you know, bullying. And at, you know, on a level, it was completely bullying all of us, and with lies and with the intent to hurt. So I think, you know, they've been very vocal about like what they will and will not tolerate. So I think it was a decision made that's way above all of our pay grades.
Right. Would you
way above?
Yeah. Would you have filmed with her if they decided to bring her back?
No, probably not. I just think like I tried really hard at the beginning of last season. Like, there were scenes that never made it to air where we like filmed together. I tried really hard. We had a discussion prior to filming where I was like, Monica, this could be great for you, your children. This is like an amazing opportunity. It's like being part of an NBA team. Yeah. And I'm like, you're part of this now. And I think we were like supporting her. And, you know, I just think it got to a point where it was so low and so dirty that I wouldn't put myself in that situation again. I have boundaries.
Yeah. And so what is it? I mean, I know you can't tell me too much, but what has been filming like now?
Well, we're just barely getting into it, but I feel really excited about this season. I think that we raise the bar every single season. We have an amazing team. It's not just, you know, the core four of us. It's like a whole big team, and with new additions. And I feel like our production team is so committed to showing us like in our best light and having like our best self shown and our most vulnerable self shown. And I think because we really do have conflict still, and there's still things being resolved, that our franchise is one like where it's like, we don't have to fake anything. Like, it's very, very real. Like, all of it's like almost a little too real.
Right. Whitney was on a podcast recently, and I think she jokingly said that you'll emerge as the villain this season. What do you think about that?
Well, I might be her villain this season. Like, I mean, I never comment on my cast members in the press, just because I'm like, they're ever evolving relationships. But I think Whitney didn't like that she was shown to be a liar about like saying I didn't comfort her when her friend was there, when her friend passed, which I was so sad for her. And like, I think it just bothered her that there were some flashbacks at the reunion. There's no AI in Housewives.
That is true. Do you feel like if Monica was more remorseful at the reunion, and because it seemed like almost to me that she kind of like gave up at the end and was just kind of was like, I want to be done with this? I
don't think she gave up at the end. I think you saw the Monica that we film with. Like she didn't give up at the end. That's like, I feel like this is like who Monica is, like where she gets caught and then she's like, you know, feeling sorry for herself instead of like making restitution. She just like is like, I'm not going to say that because I can't admit fault. But I think one of the points I made at the reunion that I think was important was if she led with so much. She led with like, I've had an affair with my brother-in-law. I've done this and this and this. And so I think if she had really led with, listen, I ran this page, Jen was horrible to me, and I was retaliating against her, and I'm sorry you guys were casualties, I think we would have had a totally different season with her and a totally different relationship with her. But she couldn't come clean, and she didn't come clean until she was busted. Like there was the proof, receipts, timeline, like everything, like Heather said. I mean, Heather basically very quickly used her words against her. And I think that like knowing that there was no out for her, and that like, it's like, you're proven, you're wrong. There was nothing more she really could say. And for me, the biggest thing was I'm like, if you can record your own mother and then send it to your friends and post it, what will you do with us? And I think that made it like impossible for me to film with her. And then knowing that she was logging into Jen's security system and there was no boundaries, the drive-bys. And it wasn't just with Jen Shah's house either. Like it was with all of us. And I think for me, it was like, how can you trust someone? Like there's no safety there. There's no boundaries. Right.
Then in turn, are you disappointed in Heather that she didn't come forward about the black eye story a year and a half ago?
I was very disappointed with Heather when we were at season 3 reunion. I was saying like, you put lives in jeopardy. I was so disappointed with her in real time and very upset with her. But I think if you've experienced what we've experienced, which is why we have more boundaries moving forward with Jen bullied all of us on a level that was not safe, so scary, like where there were times where we had to take extra action because Jen was threatening us. And I understand why Heather was not comfortable. It was wrong to lie about it. But I think that it was so many other factors. And listen, Heather and I have had a rocky road moving forward. And in this, I really empathize with Heather and I could understand. I'm like, you were in a position where you were going to be punished. And it was like, what's the lesser of the two punishments right now? Is it Jen or is it this? And I think she made a decision. And I think she felt really bad about it. I was super hard on her. During the reunion season 3, I was like, you put like lives of production in jeopardy. You've lied about this. We don't know what's true. What can we believe with you? And then after like hearing her explain everything, I think we had empathy. And in a way, Jen has given all of us black eyes with her lies that she would go very public with. And like, there were investigations every time Jen said something. And I think we've lived through a lot. And I think it was exhausting and we're ready to move forward.
Yeah, it's like I'm excited to see the toxicity behind and to see how you guys move forward in the future. I know I got to run, but I just want to ask quickly, how's Jack doing?
Jack is doing amazing. He's thriving in Bogota. Spanish is perfection. I love that we get to talk to him every Monday. I would like die if we couldn't, but I'm so excited to see like the growth. And, Henry's thriving without him, but I can't wait for them to be back together.
Great. So tell me all about this partnership that you have with Clorox and how you are cleaning up life's messes.
I have a lot of those, so I need a lot of Clorox. So I grew up, like my mom is such a neat freak, and we grew up in a house that I'm like, it could be hermetically sealed. And I've always talked about how much I love Clorox. So it's kind of organic that I'm now partnering with Clorox. And they have the most, I love my glam and I love clean. So the two go hand in hand. And Clorox has a sweepstakes that they're offering 2 lucky guests will get to go to New York City and have a glam getaway and go to a live taping of Watch What Happens Live and see other messes unfold with other housewives. And I think it'll be amazing. But I love Clorox. I love having everything clean, disinfected, especially this time of year. Like no one wants to be sick. So it's better to like just wipe it all away.
Yes, that's so true. I am disinfecting everything in my house at the moment. This glam getaway sounds like I'm going to sign myself up for it. I mean, it sounds so wonderful. And this is like right up your alley because you are the queen of glam. Are we still getting glam to go to the supermarket?
We're still getting glammed every single day. Glam is flying with me everywhere I go. I'm like, it's an essential at this point. Totally. It's not a luxury, it's an essential.
So what is the biggest life mess that you are cleaning up at the moment?
Oh my gosh, I feel like we just came off of Sundance. So my company was super busy doing events up at the Sundance Film Festival. And we do events all year round. I think that's like the biggest one. And everyone loves to talk Sundance, but it's like just cleaning up everything from Sundance and making sure everything was buttoned up, just starting to film. So I think it's like, you know, like we've cleaned up last year's mess and hopefully moving forward with lots of nice and clean things.